Words, question answers from grade 9, subject English, book Kaveri. Reflect and respond. First, why are words important? Can we communicate without words? How? Share your answers with your classmates and teacher. Answer. Words are important because they help us express our thoughts, feelings, ideas, and needs clearly. They allow us to share knowledge, comfort others, ask questions, and build relationships. Through words, we can encourage, guide, and understand one another better. Yes, we can also communicate without words. This is called non-verbal communication. We communicate without words through facial expressions, gestures, body language, eye contact, signs and signals, pictures and symbols. For example, a smile can show happiness, a nod can mean yes, and a wave can mean greeting or goodbye. Second, use the given sentences as clues to find words from the grid and fill the blanks. One example has been done for you. My mother summoned me to introduce her friends. Column 1 horizontal, column 2 vertical. We eat food to satisfy our hunger. Second, the train will depart from the station at 5 p.m. Third, the gardener was removing the weeds to clean the flower beds. Column 2 vertical. Fourth, the view from the top of the hill was worth the difficult climb. Fifth, the herbs and spices add flavor to food. Sixth, flowers blossom in spring. Seven, we enjoyed a delicious feast after the ceremony. So friends, you can mark these words as shown on the screen by pausing the video. Next, check your understanding first. Fill in the blanks with one word from the poem. One example has been done for you. In this poem, the poet reflects that words fail to truly satisfy what the heart wants to convey. Words are compared to summer birds who depart, leaving nothing behind. The heart is equated to a pilgrim who finds that words are as worthless as weeds when needed. He feels that a few sincere words can bring more joy than many meaningless ones. He adds that a voice that brings happiness to a lonely place does not say much, but the few words it does are very precious. Moreover, if words could satisfy us, the world would celebrate, but words often fail to do that. The poem ends on the note that empty words may look impressive with lots of flowers, but they cannot produce anything valuable like a fruit. Second, let us appreciate the poem. First, read the poem again, find any four sets of rhyming words, and also write the rhyme scene of the poem. Answer. Four sets of rhyming words are heart, depart, care, air, needs, weeds, impart, heart. Other rhyming pairs in the poem are earth, worth, head, said, cheer, dear, feast, least, show, grow, root, fruit. Rhyme scene. The rhyme scene of each stanza is AB, AB. Second, read the following phrases and sentences taken from the poem. Identify the poetic device in each of them and explain what the poet wants to communicate through their usage. First, but words like summer birds depart. Poetic device simile. The poet compares words to summer birds using the word like. He wants to show that many words are temporary. Just as birds fly away quickly, words too disappear and often leave no lasting comfort behind. Second, heart a pilgrim upon earth. Poetic device metaphor. The heart is called a pilgrim, meaning a traveler on a journey. The poet wants to show that human life is like a journey full of experiences, emotions, needs, and struggles. On this journey, the heart searches for true comfort and understanding. Third, words are of as little worth as just so many weeds. Poetic device simile. Words are compared to weeds. The poet wants to say that empty or meaningless words are as useless as weeds. They do not help the heart in times of need and have little value. Fourth, if words could satisfy the chest, oft satisfy the least. Poetic device repetition. The word satisfy is repeated. The poet uses repetition to emphasize the idea that words are often unable to truly fulfill human emotions and needs. It highlights the failure of words in real situations. Fifth, the world might hold a feast. Poetic device hyperbole. This is an exaggeration. The poet says that the whole world would celebrate with a feast if words could truly satisfy human feelings. He wants to show how wonderful life would be if words really had that power. 6. Like plants that make a gaudy show, all blossom to the root. Poetic device simile imagery. Words are compared to showy plants full of blossoms. The poet wants to show that some words appear attractive and impressive on the surface, but they are only for display and do not have real value. 7. But whose poor nature cannot grow one particle of fruit. Poetic device, metaphor, symbolism. The fruit stands for usefulness, result, or value. The poet means that empty words may look beautiful like flowers, but they do not produce anything meaningful or beneficial. Third, which words are repeated in the poem? Why does the poet use repetition? Answer. Some repeated words in the poem are words, heart, satisfy, few. The poet uses repetition to stress the central idea of the poem. He wants to highlight that words are important only when they are sincere and heartfelt. Repetition helps the reader focus on the contrast between many meaningless words and few true words. Fourth, the stanzas 4, 5, and 6 end with exclamation marks. Choose the option that displays the emotions being expressed through them. Answer. The correct option is first 4 disillusionment, 5 admiration, and 6 frustration. Explanation. Stanza 4 ends with a feeling of disillusionment because words often satisfy the least. Stanza 5 ends with admiration because the few loving words are described as very dear. Stanza 6 ends with frustration because attractive but empty words cannot produce fruit or value. Third, identify examples of hyperbole from the given lines. If words could satisfy the chest, the world might hold a feast. Work in pairs, complete the sentences given below with hyperboles. Use the hints given in the brackets. First, I have tons of things to do on this weekend. Second, the player missed the basket by a mile. Third, my mother is so tired that she can sleep for a decade. Fourth, I will be back in 2 seconds. Fourth, rhythm gives a lyrical quality to a poem. The rhythm patterns of beats in a line of poetry is described by a metrical form. A meter is formed by a stressed and an unstressed syllable. Syllable is the name given to a single unit of speech, beats of spoken language. The metrical form in the first 4 lines is given below. The stressed syllables have been underlined. If words could satisfy the heart might find less care, but words like summer, birds depart and leave but empty air. Now listen to the teacher read the poem. As you listen, underline the syllables that are stressed in all the lines of the poem. Share your answers with the teacher. Answer. Now for the remaining lines. The bold ones are stressed syllable. The heart, a pilgrim upon earth, finds of 10 when it needs, that words are of as little worth as just so many weeks. A little said and truly said can deeper joy impart than host of words which reach the head but never touch the heart. The voice that wins its sunny way a lonely home to cheer hath oft the fewest words to say, but oh, those few how dear. So friends, the bold ones are stressed syllable. These stressed syllables create the rhythm of the poem and give it a musical, lyrical quality. The poem mostly follows a regular beat pattern which makes it pleasant to read aloud. Next, critical reflection. First, read the following lines and answer the questions. First, the heart a pilgrim upon earth finds often when it needs, that words are of as little worth as just so many weeds. First, why has the poet referred to the heart as a pilgrim? Answer. The poet has referred to the heart as a pilgrim because the heart is like a traveler moving through the journey of life. On this journey, it experiences many feelings such as joy, sorrow, hope, and pain. Just like a pilgrim searches for peace and meaning, the heart also searches for comfort, understanding, and true emotional connection. Second, when would a heart need words? Answer. A heart would need words during times of sadness, loneliness, pain, confusion, or emotional difficulty. In such moments, a person looks for kind, loving, and comforting words that can provide support and peace. Third, complete the sentence with an appropriate reason. The words are like weeds because they are often useless, unwanted, and of little value when the heart truly needs comfort. Fourth, mention two emotions the heart might be experiencing when it finds words to be of little worth. Answer. The two emotions the heart might be experiencing are first, disappointment, second, sadness. It may also feel helplessness or loneliness when words fail to give comfort. Fifth, what do these lines suggest about the nature of communication? Answer. These lines suggest that communication is meaningful only when it is sincere, heartfelt, and emotionally supportive. Mere words are not enough if they do not carry truth, care, and understanding. The poet shows that empty communication has little value in times of need. Second, if words could satisfy the chest, the world might hold a feast, but words, when summoned to the test, oft satisfy the least. First, how can words satisfy the chest? Answer. Words can satisfy the chest when they comfort a person's inner feelings and emotions. Here, chest suggests the emotional self or the human heart. Words satisfy the chest when they bring peace, hope, support, and relief. Second, how can words be summoned to the test? Answer. Words are summoned to the test when they are judged in real situations of life, especially during pain, sorrow, loneliness, or need. At such times, it becomes clear whether the words are truly meaningful or merely empty. Third, what does the world holding a feast imply? Answer. It implies great happiness and celebration everywhere. The poet means that if words could truly satisfy people's emotions, then life would be full of joy and everyone would feel content and cheerful. Fourth, complete the sentence with an appropriate reason. The poet mentions that words satisfy the least because they often fail to meet the deep emotional needs of the heart when they are put to real test. Fifth, select the word that does not mean the same as oft. Answer. The correct answer is A, always. Explanation. The word oft means often, frequently, or usually, but it does not mean always. Second, answer the following questions. Question 1. What is the comparison that the poet draws between words and empty air? Answer. The poet compares words to empty air to show that many words are hollow and meaningless. Just as empty air has no solid form or lasting effect, empty words also disappear quickly and fail to provide comfort or real support. This comparison highlights the temporary and superficial nature of insincere speech. Question 2. According to the poet, meaningful words are more precious than a lot of them. Explain. Answer. According to the poet, a few meaningful and truthful words are more precious because they touch the heart and give real joy. A large number of words may sound impressive and reach the mind, but they often fail to create emotional connection. The poet values sincerity over quantity and believes that simple, heartfelt words can comfort and cheer a person far more deeply than long empty speeches. Question 3. Do you agree that the poet presents contrasting ideas related to words in the poem? If yes, why? If no, why not? Answer: yes, I agree that the poet presents contrasting ideas related to words in the poem. On one hand, he shows that many words can be empty, useless, and superficial. On the other hand, he says that a few true and sincere words are precious and comforting. He also contrasts words that reach the head with words that touch the heart. These contrasts help the poet clearly show the difference between shallow speech and meaningful communication. Question 4. The theme of loneliness hovers over the poem. Support this statement with examples from the text. Answer: yes. The theme of loneliness is clearly present in the poem. The poet speaks of the heart as a pilgrim upon earth, which suggests a lonely traveler moving through life. He also writes about a lonely home to cheer, showing a place filled with sadness or emptiness that needs comfort. In both cases, the poet suggests that people often feel alone and need true, kind words to bring warmth and happiness into their lives. Question 5. How does the poet convey the superficial nature of words? What ought to be done to address this? Answer: the poet conveys the superficial nature of words through powerful comparisons. He says that words are like summer birds because they quickly depart, like weeds because they are of little worth, and like gaudy plants because they may look attractive but produce no fruit. These images show that words can appear impressive on the surface but may lack real meaning or value. To address this, people should speak truthfully, thoughtfully, and from the heart. Words should be sincere and supported by genuine feeling and action. Next, vocabulary in context. First, the poet has used some figurative phrases. Match the phrases in column 1 with their correct meanings in column 2. Use each phrase in a sentence of your own. Answer: first, satisfy the heart. Fourth, makes one happy. Sentence: kind and loving words can satisfy the heart of a sad person. Second, depart and leave but empty air. Sixth, makes no impact. Sentence: his false promises depart and leave but empty air, because they do not help anyone. Third, host of words. First, many words. Sentence: she used a host of words but her message was still unclear. Fourth, never touch the heart. Fifth, does not appeal to our emotions. Sentence: his formal speech was well written, but it did never touch the heart. Fifth, wins its sunny way. Second, cheers up a person. Sentence: her gentle voice wins its sunny way into every unhappy home. Sixth, plants that cannot grow fruit. Third, there is no outcome. Sentence: empty advice is like plants that cannot grow fruit because it gives no result. Second, create a world map for each of the words from the poem given in the box. To complete the word map, include meaning, synonyms of the word, antonyms, sentence using the word, a quick sketch or symbol that represents the word. One example has been done for you. Word cheer, meaning to give a loud shout of approval or encouragement. Synonym comfort. Antonym sadden. Sentence: the audience cheered her for her great performance. Sketch: picture of sunshine, sunflower, or a smiling face. Next, depart, meaning to go away, to leave a place. Synonym: leave, go, move away. Antonyms: arrive, stay, remain. Sentence: the train will depart from the station at 6 o'clock. Sketch: symbol, a flying bird or a moving train. So friends, you have to draw the symbol or sketch yourself. Second word, pilgrim, means a traveler, especially one on a meaningful journey. Synonyms: traveler, wanderer, journeyer. Antonyms: resident, settler. Sentence. In the poem, the heart is described as a pilgrim on earth. Sketch symbol. A person walking with a stick and bag. Third word, cheer, meaning to make someone happy or to encourage someone. Synonyms: comfort, encourage, delight. Antonyms: sadden, discourage, upset. Sentence: her kind words cheer me when I feel lonely. Sketch symbol: a smiling face or sunshine. Fourth word means a spoken or written unit of language. Synonyms: term, expression, statement. Antonyms: silence, quiet. Sentence: a gentle word can heal a wounded heart. Sketch symbol: a speech bubble. Fifth word, sunny, meaning bright, cheerful, full of warmth. Synonyms: bright, cheerful, pleasant. Antonyms: gloomy, dull, dark. Sentence: her sunny smile made everyone feel welcome. Sketch symbol: a shining sun. Sixth word, satisfy, means to fulfill a need or make someone content. Synonyms: fulfill, please, content. Antonyms: disappointment, dissatisfy, upset. Sentence: a good meal can satisfy our hunger. Sketch symbol: a full plate or a happy face. Seven word, heart, means the center of feelings and emotions. Synonyms: mind, spirit, feelings. Antonyms: cruelty, coldness. Sentence: true words always touch the heart. Sketch symbol: a heart shape. Short note for class 9 students. These phrases and word map help us understand that the poem is not only about language but also about feelings, sincerity, and emotional connection. The poet shows that words are valuable only when they come from the heart. Next, listen and respond. First, you will listen to a conversation between a girl and a boy. As you listen, mark 4 statements from 1 to 6 that are true. Transcript for teacher on page 273. So friends, let's read the transcript. Boy: good morning Sonali. Have you heard about the inter-school declamation contest scheduled next week? Girl: good morning Vivek. The one on the topic use of English language for communication. Boy: yes, that's right. Are you participating in it? Girl: of course I am. I was among the first few students to register for the contest. Boy: yes, I was sure you would. Do you think it is a topic that can lead to an engaging talk? Girl: sure I do. You see, English is used all over the world for communication purposes. In our daily lives, we come across several informal and formal situations where we want to share information with others or express ideas and relate our experiences with them. Boy: that's right. I feel that to communicate effectively, we need to organize our thoughts well and choose appropriate words and phrases. Girl: obviously, that's because English is not our mother tongue. Many of us face difficulties in speaking and understanding it. Boy: absolutely. I find that many of us hesitate to speak in English because we think we do not have sufficient vocabulary and knowledge of English grammar. Girl: correct. I think that it would be a good idea to develop vocabulary and grammar to be able to communicate with confidence. This gets reflected in our body language too. Boy: body language? How? Girl: you may have noticed that some people appear nervous and conscious while speaking in English. Boy: right. What would be your advice to those who face this problem? Girl: they should not forget that communication takes place not only with words but also with gestures and postures. So, they must remember to work on their body language too. Boy: that's a valid point. Let me pick up a book on body language from the library. Girl: great. You will find them in the reference section. You may request the librarian to issue it. Boy: thank you for the advice. I will find the book soon enough. All the best for the declamation. Girl: thank you. Bye. So the correct statements are: first, the girl was excited to participate in the declamation contest. Second, the boy was doubtful about the suitability of the topic chosen for the contest. Third, the boy was unaware of the role played by body language in reflecting the speaker's confidence. And fourth, the girl had issued the book on body language earlier from the library. Next, speaking activity. First, read the following quotations and select the one you like the most. Explain the quotation and share the reason for your choice with your classmates and teacher. You may talk about a connected personal experience too. So friends, these are the quotations. Let's see the answer. I chose the quotation by Mahatma Gandhi because it gives a very deep and meaningful message. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. This quotation means that true feelings are more important than beautiful or many words. If a person prays or speaks with honesty, love, and sincerity, then even silence has value. But if someone uses many words without real emotion, those words become empty and meaningless. I like this quotation the most because it connects closely with the poem words. The poem also teaches us that a few sincere words are more precious than many hollow ones. This quotation reminds us that what matters most is the truth and feeling inside our heart. I also chose this quotation because it is useful in daily life. Sometimes people say big things, but they do not really mean them. On the other hand, a few simple and kind words spoken from the heart can comfort someone deeply. I remember a time when one of my friends was upset. I did not know what long speech to give, so I simply said, I am with you. Those few words made my friend feel better. That experience taught me that heartfelt words are more powerful than many empty ones. So, I believe this quotation teaches us to be honest, sincere, and thoughtful in whatever we say. It tells us that the value of words lies not in their number but in the feelings behind them. Next, writing task. First, write an essay on any one quotation from speaking activity. Follow the guidelines given below while drafting the essay. So friends, these are the guidelines. You can read them yourself. Now let's see the answer. Essay on the quotation. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart by Mahatma Gandhi. Words are an important part of human communication, but this quotation by Mahatma Gandhi teaches us that feelings are even more important than words. I like this quotation because it gives a simple but powerful message. It tells us that sincerity, devotion, and truth matter more than beautiful language. The purpose of this essay is to explain why heartfelt expression is more valuable than empty speech. To begin with, the quotation means that true emotion has greater value than formal or attractive words. A person may speak very politely and use many impressive expressions, but if those words are not genuine, they lose their worth. On the other hand, even silence or a few broken words can become meaningful if they come from a pure heart. This idea applies not only to prayer but also to everyday life. For example, when a friend is sad, a few honest words of care can bring more comfort than a long speech without feeling. In addition to this, the quotation teaches us the importance of sincerity in relationships. People do not always remember long conversations, but they do remember how someone made them feel. Kindness, honesty, and emotional truth create stronger bonds than clever language. For instance, a child's simple thank you spoken with love can feel more touching than a formal speech spoken without warmth. Similarly, in prayer, what matters is not the number of words we say, but the faith and devotion within us. Consequently, this quotation reminds us to focus on inner truth rather than outer show. Some people may argue that words are necessary to express feelings clearly, so a heart without words may not be enough. This criticism is not fully correct. Words do not have importance, but Gandhi's point is that words alone are not enough. Without sincerity, words become hollow. A heartfelt, sincere A tear, a smile, or a few true words can often express more than a long speech. Therefore, the quotation does not reject words completely, it only warns us against using words without genuine feeling. In conclusion, this quotation beautifully highlights the power of sincerity. It shows that prayer, speech, and human relationships become meaningful only when they come from the heart. Empty words may sound pleasant, but they cannot touch the soul. True feeling gives life to language. Thus, we should always remember that the best words are not the longest or the most decorative, but the ones that come straight from the heart. Next, learning beyond the text. First, in groups of 6, follow the instructions to play the non-verbal game. So friends, play this game yourself. Second, do you know the French priest Charles Michel de Lepe 1712 to 89 is recognized as the father of sign language and deaf education. Third, you must have read poems and songs in English and in your own language. Now read and enjoy the poem given below. Weigh your words. If we would weigh the words we say and speak but those we mean, we'd save a lot of talk each day and keep our conscience clean. The idle words we often speak and promises we make, if given credence by the weak, may cause some heart to ache. We never know the pain and sting an idle word may start. We never can erase one thing we have written on a heart. 'Tis best to weigh each sentence well, and as I have said before, though we'd not have so much to tell, 'twould mean a whole lot more. E. F. Hubbard. So friends, we have completed all the question answers from Unit 7 poem words. We have already studied thorough explanation of this poem. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, kindly like, hype the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive new video notifications. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.